Yo yo yo, what up dogs? Chris checking in with you again today with another Patreon exclusive tutorial. Today we've got the Aquilion Tempestus, I think that's what they're called, elite jump troops of the Tempestus Science for the Astra Militarum in Games Workshop's Warhammer 40,000. This guy was painted in a scheme in how I'm painting most of my humans across 30k, 40k, whatever. I just really like this urban camo, grey to black to ash scheme. It's fastly become one of my favourite ways to paint human models, and it's really nice and easy to do. One of the best things I found about this model is there seems to be a lot less trim compared to the conventional Scions. I've painted armies of those before and found the trim really intimidating. Maybe I'm confused, but it just felt like the trim on this guy was a lot more manageable. So you can use this across any Astra Militarum figure in your range. You can use it across Solar Auxilia. Again, this is how I paint my Solar Auxilia in Heresy, Legis Imperialis, and my Astra Militarum similarly in 40k. Let's cracketh on, shall we? So we start, as always, with our matte black prime from Colourforge, with a zenithal of matte white, also from Colourforge. We see those lovely shadows on the underside of the model, the white picking out all the higher details that we're going to nuke with contrast and speed paints. Here's my Solar Auxilia for Heresy, which is basically going to be in a very, very similar scheme. We are going to mix things up slightly, but I'll explain as we go. Ashen Stone, speed paint from Army Painter. Lovely, lovely, nice pale grey. We're going to apply this over all of the fatigues. You can be neat with this. If you're messy, don't worry. We are going to go over bits later on. But neatness pays, so if you can be neat here, crack on. If not, don't stress about it. You be reet. Don't worry, it'll be reet. So these came in the Kill Team Hivestorm box, which was kindly provided to myself by Games Workshop. Thank you guys, massively appreciated. It's a wicked box. I'm a massive fan of Kill Team and skirmish games in general. The favourite thing for me in this box is the terrain. I think it's absolutely wicked. It's going to be great in my Kill Team games, 40k games, Heresy games. So yeah, I'm super, super stoked to get this whole set done and painted. So don't forget the fatigues in between his armour panels on his arms, around the back. If you're not sure, whack this paint on there. It's very thin and very pale, where if we do get it where we don't want it, we can just cover it up later. There we go, on to Gravelord Grey, another speed paint. This is going to be used on all the armour panels for the whole model. We're going to be semi-neat, we're going to keep this away from the Ashen Stone, but if we get it on the trim, or his beret, or weapons, or his boots, we're not going to stress about it, because we're just going to paint over those later. Now I mention this in most of my videos, if you're new to speed paints from Army Painter, be careful with them. They have a lot of flow in them, they've got a lot of detergent that causes them to lose control really quickly. Don't overload your brush, be neat with it. It's not too bad in this step, but things like the metallics, if they overspill and go where you don't want them, it's going to be a nightmare to undo. So less is more, build that colour up and don't just slap it on and think it'll be fine, because it'll run everywhere and look shit. Murder Scene, aptly named. It's a really nice kind of mauve, burgundy, red colour. We're going to do this for his beret, very reminiscent of the commandos in World War II from the British Air Force. So we're just going to apply this carefully over his beret, try to avoid his face in the grey we've done. Not a lot to it, bish bash bosh. For most of this video, if not all of it, I'll be using my orange brush from orangebrushes.com. The red handle means it's their size 1 brush. These brushes are fantastic, they are an absolute bargain. I cannot tell you enough how excellent they are. For the punt of 20 quid, which is the price of a Chinese, get yourself a set, I promise you, they'll rock your world. Black Templar Contrast Paint. We're going to apply this to the boots. Now, I always cop out on boots. I've been to a few workshops and we'll slap the colour on there and guys will get to the end and say, what else are you going to do to the boots? Nothing. Why bother? Paint them black, we're going to weather them into our bases. If you need to invest time in a model and you're choosing to do it on the boots, when you can be spending it on the face, the weapons, the armour, again, it's just priorities. If you've got the time to edge highlight each crease in a boot, you clearly paint more than I do, which is a metric shit ton. So we'll try and keep this off our greys, keep it to the boots where possible. We are going to paint our bolt pistol casing and our chainsword case black, but we're going to do that later on once we finish the metallics. Purely because it saves us painting over it later and building up layers we don't need to. They're nice and sticky out areas where we're not going to get paint on them until we need to, so we may as well leave those till later. So as you can see, I'm being as neat as I can, keeping it on the boots, keeping it away from the fatigues and the armour panels. I'll also apply this to the gloves, holding onto the chainsword and the bolt pistol, and if he's got like a kind of gorget thing or some kind of fabric around his neck, I'll normally associate this to be a different fabric from his fatigue, something he's got on underneath to keep dust out of his mouth to pull up when he needs to, so I'll do that black as well. You can do whatever colour you want, you can swap any of these colours out, but the process is how I paint most of my Astra Militarum. It enables me to get 10 guys done in an afternoon, 20 guys done in a day, so hopefully you take something away from this video. Up next, dark wood from Speed Paint. If you don't have dark wood, you can swap this out for like wildwood or Cygor brown. Any dark brown would be nice. And this is just for the straps. There's a few on this guy. There's under every panel of armour that you can get to, especially around the arms. There's also ones leading from the chest armour to the back armour. Be as neat as you can, try not to make a mess. If you do, you can tidy up the grey with a neutral grey or a dawnstone. And if you tidy up the ashen stone, you can tidy up with Ulthwang grey. Or alternatively, go over it with white and reapply the speed paint we've applied before. So again, not too much on my brush because these paints are very, very thin. They do flow very, very rapidly. And we're just going to apply these carefully over all the straps we need to. So I really like this Kill Team. I think they're really, really cool. They're a nice new take on the Tempestus Aquilons. I think they pair up well against the Vespids. I thought we were going to get a very jump troop heavy opening salvo of kill teams for the new edition, but they've just revealed the tank busters and the rattlings. Couldn't be any further from it. Either way, I'm excited to see what those are like to paint. So there's our straps all done. Up next, warrior skin. This is for his face and his Swede. So any exposed skin, paint in any flesh colour of your choice. I tend to swap between Crusader skin, warrior skin, Gulliman flesh, Dark Oath flesh. Noble skin is good for dark skin, as is Wildwood. Mix your skin tones up, have a nice diverse unit, why not? Neutral grey from Protocol. We are going to apply this to the trousers. Now, I decided to break these up from my Astra Militarum infantry squads and my Solar Auxilia by doing camo patterns. I adore doing camo patterns. I remember being a 12-year-old boy and doing urban camouflage trousers on my orcs just because I thought it was fucking cool because I'm a greb. So all we're going to do is take two colours to apply over our ashen stone in little jaggedy stripes. First one is neutral grey, the second one is coal black. So again, keep them sporadic, keep them crossing over each other. If you need references, look at camouflage clothing online, there's plenty on there. If you want to swap these out for any camouflage colour of your choosing, green, desert, nighttime, crazy, whatever you want to do. As long as you pick a generic colour to do over your whole trousers, and then pick two colours to do stripes over. It's a lot easier than it seems. As long as you do it sparingly, you don't want to overdo it with one colour. You ideally want to keep it and even split across the three colours we've got on there. To be fair, these models aren't fantastic for it because you can't see a lot of their trousers. There's a lot of straps and armour panels and stuff, but this is good practice. And it's something cool to do, something new to learn, isn't it? So here we are, there's a lot of our non-metallic details done. He's looking good. We're going to come back and highlight some bits shortly. Up next, dark silver from Probacryl. Absolutely wicked colour. We're going to apply this to all the metallic areas we want to be silver. So this weird tube thing he's got by his gut. His chainsaw teeth, the mechanical moving parts at the back of the chainsaw, bolt pistol, any vent, stuff like that. We're just going to paint this colour. If you don't have this colour, you can swap it for Iron Warriors from Citadel. That's a brilliant colour. Any dark silver will do. We want this silver to be dark to contrast the grey of the armour and keep the brighter points to the beret, the face, and the sharp silvers that we're going to be doing in a bit. Super, super speedy, quick. Yum. There we go. Don't forget any buckles or kind of strap cases, stuff like that as well. Light bronze, one of my all-time favourites. So we're just going to do this across all the trim. Nice and easy again. I don't know if I'm chatting shit, but there seems to be a lot less trim on this model compared to the other Tempestus signs I've painted before. So this didn't take very long at all, and I can imagine you can knock a whole unit out in an afternoon or a day if you've got the time to do it. So all over the trim, any little skull motifs and stuff like that, you can do this colour too. Let's cracketh on and get it done. Again, if you're looking for popular alternatives, Retributor Gold's nice if a bit warm, Liberator Gold's probably closer and that's a really nice colour. Like at the end of the day, this trim is kind of one of the talking points of the model. You can do it whatever colour you want it to be, so long as it's bright and contrasting to the grey armour panels we got on there. I like this colour just because it's great. Bish bash bosh. Brown wash. We're going to apply this over all our metallic details, silver and gold alike. So I tried to be neat here. You don't have to be overly neat because this wash is very, very good. It's thin, it doesn't stain too much, it just does what you need it to do with the recesses of the model. So applying this carefully over all the details that are metallic. Get this wash down, give it plenty of time to dry. It's quite a warm day today, so I left it for about 10-15 minutes, and after that it was all ready to rock. Oh, he's a handsome boy. Now on to brightening it up. We've got this light metal dry brush paint from Ammo. I've got these really funky dry brushes from Teclon Tiger dry brushes. They sent me some free samples to try out, and they are fantastic. I'd argue they're a much better, cheaper alternative than a popular name brand a lot of people use or are too afraid to use. And we're just going to really gently tickle this onto the metallic areas. I've chosen this brush in particular because you can see it's got a narrow, thin bristle head with a little bit of broadness at the end, so we can get to all those bits we need to. Try and keep it off your non-metallics. If you do get it on there, it's fine, it's neat to tidy up. But I found this process with this brush to be a lot simpler and a lot more accurate than other dry brushes I've used in the past. Plus, they clean up beautifully for reuse later. So again, just tickle all your metallic details with this colour. If you can tickle the gold trim in places, absolutely crack on and do that. That'll be a final sharp highlight for those. Coming back to you with Coal Black from Pro Acryl. Now we're going to do a cases. So we're going to do the whole of the chainsaw that's not metallic and the bolt pistol casing as well. You can kind of be ad hoc with how you want this to be. If you've got like las rifles and grenade launchers and stuff, you can see what's quite clearly casing and not casing. But again, have fun with it, try it out. It's a good excuse to block in some colours and add a little bit more of a ratio of darkness to the model, because at the minute it's quite neutral to light. This will add a little bit of darkness and depth to the model on the areas that frame the model quite bleed in nicely. So nice and thin, couple of coats, it'll be reet. If you end up knocking any of your bright silvers, you can just go back in with any bright silver paint like Stormhost and tidy those back up as you need to. Neutral grey once more, we're coming back at you. We're going to use this to edge highlight those black bits there. So the edges of this chainsaw, there's a few nice angles on there, the edges of the bolt pistol casing. This just adds a little bit of interest and a little bit of sharp depth to it. I'll do the edge closest to the teeth, and then you'll see me go back and feather in a direction to simulate wear and tear and chipping of the paint. Think about as a chainsaw comes down to attack somebody, do it directional to where the paint would scrape against whatever it is he's hitting. So I'll do the same on the other side, nice sharp edge highlight as we go, and then think about the direction. And then we go little tickles. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. Nice little bit of subtle weathering onto the bolt pistol. Again, just doing all those little edge highlights. We don't want too much of this. We want to maintain the black, but just give it a little bit of interest. Pro Acryl Silver. Lovely, lovely colour. Really, really bright. There's a big jump between this and dark silver. So I use this kind of as a final highlight if I want to have a nice stark broad highlight, points of interest such as chainsaw teeth, weapon handles, the barrels of weapons, stuff like that. I'll just do a little tickle of this. Once more, Stormhost Silver is a great alternative for this. Any bright silver will do. You want to try and keep it refined to where most of the damage is going to be, so think about the edges of gun barrels, chainsaw teeth. I also do a little bit on lenses, ready for some contrast paint later on. Tan Flesh from Pro Acryl, we're just going to add a little highlight to that face just to test our patience. And all we're going to do is do little lines of this down the cheeks, across the chin, towards his brow, and on the edge of his nose. This is really good practice if you're looking to build confidence by painting faces, because it's one colour, it's just lifting the skin, which is just a layer of warrior skin at the minute. From here you could add a little bit of brightness to the colour and do some spot highlights. You can do as much or as little as you want, but this is a great time to practice doing faces. Ball Red Contrast, this is for our lenses. There's also a little cable by his chainsaw. I couldn't decide what to do with it, so it's going to be red now. That's just the way it is, things will never be the same. And then once that's done, he's got these little lenses on the back of his power, or his jump pack I suppose it is. We're just going to dot those little lenses there that we painted silver before. If you need to go in and tidy up with the silver, just go in and tidy the edges of the lenses with the silver. And there we go. I think that'll do for our Tempestus Aquilon Sergeant Person doohickey. here he is, all done and dusted. Really, really fun time painting him. I could quite happily knock some of these guys out in an evening. I'm excited for the new version of Kill Team. I'll be eager to play these guys and see how they do. But sadly, I have a lot of other Kill Teams that are going to get it going first because they're my boys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope there was something you could take away from it for your painting in any way, shape or form. All your support for my Patreon does genuinely mean the world to me. It enables me to dedicate time to creating content, improve the facilities I've got to do that, plan in the future, while also supporting me to be able to live doing something I enjoy. So thank you very, very, very much for that. If you've got any ideas on content you'd like to see, head to the Discord. We've got a hobby clinic where we share hobby advice. You can leave ideas and suggestions on what kind of content you'd like to see. Basically, it's the place to be if you want to indulge in some really nice, positive, productive and enthusiastic hobby goodness. That'll do for now. Thank you very much, guys. Keep kicking ass. Enjoy Hive Storm. Peace!